Many of Disney's Renaissance era movies have a simple formula to introduce you to a story, the main character and the supporting cast. Every time you're done with a scene, it connects you to the next in some way, and what better example than the following scene from The Little Mermaid.
Believe me, Grim, when I find her, I'll know. Without a doubt, it'll just, bam, hit me. Like lightning.
You get the idea. Still, I would like to quickly summarize Aladdin. We travel to Agrabah along a merchant. This guy tells us the story of a magical lamp while tying it with the theme of the movie.
Like so many things, it is not what is outside, but what is inside that counts.
After the lamp, we meet Jafar, the character that is moving the plot. A man that is obsessed with power and has been pursuing for years magical artifacts to help him achieve his goal. Willing to sacrifice people and worse, he's cunning and patient.
Patience, Iago, patience.
But as his endeavor fails, the cave tasks him with finding a diamond in the rough, Aladdin. A common thief that steals food to survive, and while his life is awful and he owns practically nothing, he has, above all, a big heart. Most of us can relate with what he wants, to be seen for who we are on the inside.
You are a worthless street rat!
And for a better life, so he looks towards the palace. Inside, Jasmine, and a loving yet comically cartoonish father that mistakenly cares only about protecting her. She's a caged bird and she knows nothing. So, tired of people making choices for her, she literally and metaphorically frees the bird from the cage. A 16-year-old willing to give up everything she has for freedom. That's basically it. Now that we have all the ingredients, we're ready to mix them together. But let's talk about the remake first. This new version understandably doesn't follow this tried structure. Instead, after an appreciated change with the genie introducing the story to his children, we see everyone in Agrabah. And after 2 meager minutes with Aladdin, he meets Jasmine. I find it rather interesting their choice to summarize and compress the beginning of the story, as if there was no time for details. Except this remake is 30 minutes longer, and since we know the story, they can just show us from the start that everything we know and love is still there. There's a noticeable lack of engagement with the audience. They managed to create an exchange where details are lost. For example, the mysticism surrounding the Cave of Wonders. It's just a cave that anyone can find. This is the perfect example of what they did in this remake. In the original, it's important that we get to know in detail all the individual pieces separately, and so we spend almost 3 times as long with Aladdin before he interacts with any major characters. Even the scene where he shines brighter doesn't really linger, it doesn't feel as special in the remake. Still, a change like this affects the characters and how they're perceived by us. Jafar loses much of his charisma and personality in this exchange.
My royal vizier, Jafar, he's delighted too.
Ecstatic. I'm afraid, Prince Abubu.
Ababwa.
Whatever.
He goes from the front row to the back seat. And in fact, he's completely different. While in a similar position, we don't understand his train of thought. He's no longer cunning, he's just angry.
You would allow your kingdom to sink into ruin for mere sentiment!
Jafar!
I will think on that. I don't want to keep the princess waiting.
Perhaps I'm not making myself clear.
He lacks patience and presence. Remake Jafar is no longer as important, so he doesn't even get a song. While this is generally bad, putting him in the backseat allows them to fix some of the problems he had. Still, a hero is only as good as the villain. Jasmine is mostly changed for the better. She has a more detailed backstory involving her mother, a female friend that she can interact with, and in general she gets more screen time and we hear more about her thoughts and desires. She even gets her own song, even if I don't agree with the way it was used. To me, I wish they used the song to convey her feelings to Hakim directly, elevated by the music in a more relatable way. Instead, they use a dreamlike inner monologue that sort of feels out of place. Anyway, she has her heroic moments, but more importantly, the resolution of the movie revolves around her achieving her dream of becoming Sultan. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman.
I can't do this.
And while she's no longer portrayed as a woman Aladdin should not underestimate, it is certainly much better than what they did with the lead. This is the biggest change and my biggest problem. It contradicts directly the theme of the original. It is not what's in the inside that counts. Instead, and for the worst, they introduce a soft theme with Aladdin of reliability and distrust. And so they turn Aladdin into an unredeemable jerk.
Trust me.
You are a thief.
But
I'm so naive. He promised.
The more you have, the more you want.
that's not me.
We'll see about that. Oh, so you're gonna drink from that cup. I mean, trust me, I had my doubts.
And you believed him?
And she believed you.
I believe him. I do.
He's got an attitude problem now.
No, I'm in charge, okay?
We jump?
Why are you repeating everything I say? Who needs maps, anyway? They're old and useless and add no practical value. A whole world outside of books and maps. Who said anything about a door? I sort of am a prince now. Aladdin is gone. I'm Prince Ali now.
Wow.
And he's also seemingly dumb.
And what do you hope to buy with this expensive?
You!
Who is this guy? The original theme of Aladdin was that of a kid wanted to be seen for what he truly was, and that person was there since the beginning. Others just didn't see it. There's an issue of not telling the truth, but the solution is presented to him as being yourself. And Aladdin dressed this because he lacks self-confidence. He's never been seen for what he is, so he doesn't understand his own worth. And sure, he has a bad moment, but can you spot the difference? Let's compare.
You won! Because of you! The only reason anyone thinks I'm worth anything is because of you!
Suddenly, having to rule an entire country weighed heavily on him. Getting the girl is not just that anymore.
Look, I'm sorry, Abu, I'm sorry. I didn't... Wait. What am I doing?
Oh, he even says he's sorry and realizes he's wrong. What a sweet kid.
You are breaking my heart here, kid.
Who does he think he is? He's supposed to serve me.
Oh no. Female empowerment is great, but by giving it to Jasmine, you have to take away from Aladdin. And the carefully planned balance is now broken. So we're left with a change of heart that is not earned in the new one, that feels sudden and out of place. Even though his name is in the title, he seems to be as important as Jafar, a participant in someone else's tale. Oh, and all these changes also extend to the relationship with her. We no longer have the sweet moments that made them a great couple.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
We should probably head back.
Already?
It's like they did it on purpose. We shouldn't like this Aladdin. He's a model lead that isn't relatable or likable. He's a completely different person, and it's heartbreaking.
Oh, look at him. He's trying so hard. Then that's the problem.
Is the remake so terrible? No, not at all. The songs are still the highlight of the movie, and these versions are worth watching. Will Smith did a great job. I also think there was a brilliant moment where they contrasted what could have been a worse version of the Genie song, increasing our excitement and expectation. And there's great choreography too, but there's a part of me that feels like they got away with making a massively successful film by removing most of what I love from it. I'm still glad it exists, as it heightens my appreciation for the original. Thanks for watching, that's it, take care, bye bye. Oh, and if you're interested in the topic of musical theater in Disney movies, I highly recommend watching Sideways' fascinating video on Tarzan. Tarzan? Ugh. Take care, bye bye.